Managing money is tough, and one of the hardest things about getting our finances in order is knowing where to start. In this video, one of our favorite personal finance experts shares a 9-step path that starts off with a challenging financial situation like being in debt and unable to pay bills, and shows the way towards a better financial situation like being debt-free, having an emergency fund, and investing for the future. Enoch Omololu has a master's degree in finance and investment management. His personal finance blog has had over 15 million visitors, and he has tons of experience helping people in a variety of financial situations. So wherever you are right now, the path he's going to share can help identify the next step.
There are many reasons why people struggle with their finances. Sometimes it's an income problem in the sense that, for example, right now you have inflation going through the roof and salaries are not keeping up. There's just so much you can cut in expenses before life becomes truly miserable. Sometimes it is a spending issue, so bad spending habits. This could be because they are spending money they don't have to buy things they don't need. Just the classic needs versus wants conundrum. Sometimes it's life happens. Life throws you a curveball that you're not prepared for, and you have to spend money you don't have, take on debt, and then that just spirals off into a vicious cycle of other issues. And from my personal experience, sometimes people get into financial situations and problems as a reflection of their circumstances. So for example, when I first arrived in Canada, I came with funds from my home country, but within a few years I had spent them all, and I struggled for a few years. There was just lots of expenses that come alongside being new in the country. So sometimes people get into financial situations like this based on circumstances surrounding them, but there are so many reasons why people find themselves in financial situations that are unpleasant. Having one's finances in order helps to provide confidence in oneself, confidence to plan for the future, better quality of life, an ability to pursue your goals and passions, room to be able to help others. And if it's your goal, you could also consider early retirement. It comes down to being in control of one's finances. So I would recommend following 9 steps. The first one being an understanding of one's debt problem. I would be asking myself these questions. One is, why am I in debt? Followed by, how much bad debt do I owe? And lastly, how much interest am I paying? Following that, the second step would be to develop a payment plan. And the 2 common payment plans as popularized by Dave Ramsey would be the debt snowball, debt repayment strategy, and the debt avalanche, debt repayment strategy. Debt snowball involves paying off the debt with the smallest balances first, while making minimum payments on all other debts. Whereas the debt avalanche focuses on paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on all other debts. Regardless of which method one ends up using, the most important thing would be to stick to a plan. And thirdly, I would be budgeting for debt repayment. So it's one thing to have a payment plan in place, but then more importantly is actually having a budget that is geared towards paying off debt. And a budget in this sense means they want us to allocate a specific amount that goes towards paying off the debt. Sometimes it helps to use a budgeting app. It just gives a close to real-time insight into how much is being spent on the various categories of spending. Following that is potentially paying with cash. At some point when I was trying to get out of debt, I had to resort to using cash for most things, and I found it was very useful as it made it a lot harder for me to overspend when I was using cash to make payments. And then next is cut expenses where you can. If you cut expenses, any savings can be put towards paying off debt so as to accelerate the rate at which you're paying off your high interest debt. And then the other step here is increasing income. I found this personally to be the most effective way to quickly get out of debt was by increasing my income. And increasing income could mean getting a second job, working extra shifts, starting a business on the side, selling things you don't need to raise extra cash, asking for a raise if possible. In some cases, it makes sense to ask for professional help when you need to get out of debt. And this could mean speaking with an accredited not-for-profit credit counselor or a licensed insolvency trustee. Or it could mean just speaking with a financial advisor. So depending on your circumstances, it may make sense to get help with getting out of debt. Once our interest debt is out of the way, the next step is to create an emergency fund. So what an emergency fund does is it's money that you have in an account that is easily accessible. So something like just a general savings account. And what it does is it creates a buffer that helps you cushion unexpected expenses. So if, for example, a car breaks down, then one could use those funds to get a repair done without having to resort to using a credit card and then not being able to make those payments on time or getting a payday loan. So what experts say is you're thinking about having 3 times your monthly expenses to maybe 6 months worth of expenses. The final step I would be recommending is investing and saving towards retirement. And what that looks like is, depending on your circumstances, again, you have to invest in line with your risk tolerance and your needs. But you're looking at things like the exchange traded funds, so ETFs, mutual funds, stocks, and the likes. The earlier one starts to invest towards retirement, the better, because then you have time on your side. And that means you can weather the storm of the markets, the ups and downs. You can use compound interest to your advantage over time to grow your portfolio. And then there's just enough time to make changes if needed along the way, if one needs to tweak things here and there. There are many opportunities to save money and minimize taxes using registered accounts. I think the top 3 would be the tax-free savings account, TFSA, registered retirement savings plan, RRSP, and registered education savings plan, RESP. So I have always been interested in personal finances as far back as I can remember. So in 2016, I started the Savvy New Canadians blog. And since then, I have written, I think, approximately 1,300 articles, including several guides and free ebooks. So I would say it's grown well beyond just newcomers, but the intention right from the start was to create a blog where new immigrants can find personal finance information written in language that it's easy to understand. Having a solid understanding of the financial system and how it works and one's place in it, the pros and cons of various financial actions and inactions can really be helpful in living a fulfilled life. I also think that financial literacy confers a certain level of confidence that can affect other areas of one's life in a positive way.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and please share this video if you liked it. You can also check out Enoch's blog at savvynewcanadians.com. Thanks for watching.